Ever have that one project where time just seems to get away from you?
Hello friends, welcome back to another day of Vlogmas.
Well, that, friends, is this project. That's right, you just heard me say Vlogmas. I have not attempted Vlogmas since 2021. That's right, last Christmas season was the last time I tried this. So I hope you enjoy this little trip back down memory lane and my 2021 self explaining to you how I made this into a blanket.
And another project that could possibly have been dealt with by just buying it off of Amazon, but instead we're going to spend a whole lot of money that I really shouldn't be spending to make it possibly more expensive. Okay, so here's what happened. I had this brilliant idea that I wanted to make a Kevin McCallister battle plan blanket. Now, where did I come up with this plan? Well, let's see. Number one, I decided to buy a blanket at the Goodwill bins and clean it. Number two, shocker, it didn't come clean. And so three, it's been sitting around my house for like the last 4 months with me not really knowing what to do with it because it's got a pretty decent sized stain that I'm never gonna be able to get out. So I saw Kevin's battle plan and I was like, man, I want a blanket like that. So what I'm gonna go do is spend way too much money to recreate this thing with my own hands and time and money. And it's gonna be fine. Welcome to the channel.
And so I dove headfirst into Joann's and went directly to the yarn aisle.
Oh, okay, this could be interesting because this stuff, the cotton yarn, if I can get it out of there. So this looks nice and thick, so that I don't have to sew quite as much. Don't ask me how I'm gonna do this because I don't know that answer, but this, if I use like the biggest embroidery needle I have, might work. Or it could be a giant disaster. Unsure yet, let's find out. Successful, and now I think it is time for fabric crayons, don't know where to find those, and felt.
After causing hearty confusion over my quest for fabric crayons, I then just decided to jump ship and go directly to the felt aisle, where I was aiming to buy large pieces of felt so that I wouldn't have to hand satin stitch all of those giant cans and other toys. The intention was to sew them all on with these felt pieces. How was I going to make them? I hadn't figured that out yet.
Okay, all this lighting is garbage. Anyway, so they did not, hang on. Okay, so they did not have the fabric crayons. So I think I'm just gonna use those crayons that my kid got from Disney Cruise Line because they supposedly wash off. We'll see if that actually works. But I did find an enormous size of yarn that I'm distinctly hoping I don't need to use all of it so I can return it because I definitely will not be using that much ever again. That's not awkward at all. All right, let's go on home and get this thing drawn out.
Once we got home, I did decide to go ahead and print out not one, but two references. Because for some inexplicable reason, there was giant black X's on the very first one I found, so it required a second. And with all of that lovingly printed out with far too much ink, it was time for laying out the blanket and actually drawing out the thing. And unfortunately, the only surface that was large enough for this daggone blanket and clean enough was the play area floor. And what that means is that my little handy-dandy flooftastic helper, that's right, my dog, don't worry, she has a cone on because she likes to lick her armpits too much. This was a year ago. She's fine now. We fixed it. But yes, she was very invested in this blanket and everything that was going on this entire journey.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
I'm gonna do you all a favor and go ahead and time-lapse this because trust me when I say drawing this out onto this blanket took far too long. These crayons, while they did actually work quite well on the fabric, the blanket itself was the thing that was fighting us because it had these fun little ribs, and the crayons, they don't want to mark on the fun little ribs. So I made it work. Somehow.
Terrible. All right then, outline done. Let's go ahead and do as my daughter always says and add in those details.
And never fear, folks, my tiny helper did come in clutch to go ahead and help out drawing some of these lovely items, such as the buckets and the globs of tar. Now, as far as sizing goes, I think the most technical term that I could use is eyeballing it. I didn't actually know what I was doing, as is clearly seen here when I had to double draw this fan.
And they go through most of candy. Candy. What? What?
Once everything had been sniffed and had been given the official paw of approval, I was able to continue on, and everything else went pretty smoothly.
So now, as much as I want to start with the easy things like, I don't know, doing the felt, I know I should actually start with the embroidery because it's going to take a lot longer and it's going to be a lot harder. Ooh. And the other thing to note is that say a prayer for me, friends, if that's what you do, because I am about to use that needle right there, that big one. Yeah, I got said needle, monstrous needle, when I bought this pincushion by accident at an estate sale. Is it vaguely rusty? Is it sort of stabby town? Absolutely it is. Oh wait, I know what'll make this better.
So with the thread for my embroidery and the movie marathon I had planned both being way too long, I dug in.
Just keep pulling, just keep pulling, just keep pulling, pulling, pulling. Sadly, even after 4 full movies, I still felt like I had absolutely gotten nowhere. So I squeezed in one more. Good morning. It's day I have no idea, I think 4 or 5 of this project. I am 10, 12 hours in? I don't know. I've been counting down in movies, so I'm 5 movies into this project, and to say I underestimated how much time this would take would be a vast understatement. Back on track. Last night, whilst embroidering after movie number 3, I realized that all of these embroidery threads are very, very thick. So trying to fit them underneath a sewing machine, like needle foot, to try and stitch down, because I did not want to actually hand sew all this felt on either, was gonna suck. Also, I don't know on what planet I was shopping for, but this sad little amount of fabric, yes, that blue is pretty much the size of my head, versus how big this blanket is. Vastly underestimated for most of it, because I was going to do all of the larger shapes in felt, so I didn't have to embroider the whole thing, because that would really have sucked. So I think I'm going to do what I can with what I have to assess how much more I need to buy. Buying that $30 one off of Amazon is looking way better right now. I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting this out, and we're gonna see exactly how much I need to purchase. Now for those looking for definitions here on this Chaos Sewing channel, this is what I would call eyeballing it, because there's no way I can see through this piece of felt.
And the next definition in our Chaos Sewing Club is winging it, which is what you see me doing here. I hope that helps. Okay, let's take a look at where we're at now. Okay, so at this point I've just basically tacked everything down. That's a lie. I've just set everything down, have not tacked a thing. So down here, you can see I got a lot of the colors, but I missed the blue paint can. There's supposed to be orange fire up top there. Yeah, there's just a lot that I missed. And I am now very concerned because looking at the placement of some of these, I'm going, how did I think this was gonna fit on a sewing machine? Remember that time that this was supposed to make this easier? Crap. But was that going to stop me? Absolutely not. Okay, well, good news. That went better than planned. So now that's only in the corner of the blanket. That has nothing to do with all the interior, but I will say that back actually doesn't look like hot garbage, so I'm gonna keep going and do some more. Well, I have done as much as I can except for a couple of the little red pieces. And it's still sunlight out, so I want to go brave Joanne's 3 days before Christmas. 'Cause that sounds like a smart plan. But I really want to get this done. So I guess this is the only way to do it. Cue ridiculously overdramatic driving montage. Oh, right. I can't actually see with these. Back to the montage.
Buckets. That's pretty good.
Fire.
Does that work?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Put purple. Oh my god. Come on. Pull.
It's stuck to one.
And then I got distracted. Well, Joanne, she got me again. I went in for like this bag worth of things, you know, felt and yarn and things that are actually useful to this project. Did I absolutely come out with the entire bolt and a very adorable Baby Yoda Christmas light decoration? Yeah, I did. Of course I did. I'm so happy. Look at it. It's so cute.
The next day.
It's Christmas Eve. Is this project gonna get done? Not by Christmas Day. So I am gonna get as many of these appliques, hopefully all of them, finally attached today. And then the small marathon of hand sewing embroidery that I have ahead of me. Should I have painted this like Christina from the Arab Fact told me? Yes, yes I should. It would have been done probably day one day project. Is this a one-day project? No, no it is not. But this is called stalling, so let's go ahead and take these bad boys and get them attached. Alright, I've got the light blue on. I still have to go cut out the ones that I got yesterday, but there's one thing I wanted to note in case you wanted to attempt this project for yourself. One thing, when the crayon goes on, it's very clear, very visible, totally fine. On day 5 or 6 or 7 of manhandling, all those colors are starting to really go away. So like the purple last night, where I was embroidering this thing, I was really struggling to see it because so much of it has rubbed off because of contact. So I mean, I guess, hey, that's a bonus for the crayon, that it means it'll actually come out of the fabric, but it's not doing so well for my time test of how fast can I get this done before it all disappears and I can't see what I actually did on day 1.
Several days later.
Happy New Year! We did it!
6 months later.
I did it! It's gigantic, and I can barely hold it. Did I mention it's huge? This took just a little bit longer than I planned. Yes, it is July.
Yes, you did just hear me say July. I am very clearly aware it is not July. However, with this incongruous video being anything but in the correct timeline, I'm unclear as to why you thought it would be planned out any other way. That's assuming that I made the plan. Okay, great, back to the video.
No, I did not finish it in July. Yes, I did finish it in March? April? Too late is the answer. But this bad boy definitely took a lot of time and a lot of effort. And yes, my Christmas tree is still up, and no, I can't really be bothered at this point because it's July, so why do I care? We're halfway there. We're just gonna go with it. It's fine. Saves me time in December. Winning. This bad boy is definitely one of the proudest things that I think I've ever made because it's so as spot on as I could get with the blanketing that was available in the space, as it were. So I am extraordinarily proud of this. So much so that it's going to go very, very far out of the way of my dog because she will chew up every single one of these. And I put in way too much effort for her to do that. All in all, I did track my hours. I will have to look it up, and I will put the number of hours that I worked right here because I don't remember them. I know it was a lot. This was not a 1 week project, which is what I stupidly thought it would be at first. And it's one of those things like, why buy it for $20 off of Amazon when you can spend hundreds on it at the craft store and hours of your own work? Either way, I hope you enjoyed this lovely endeavor, and I'll see you next time. Bye. I'm not gonna chuck this at the camera. That would end poorly. Fantastic, there's someone next to me. Okay, we'll come back to this. Oh, I'm glowing in the dark.
Go get him! I'm being beaten! He's beaten by a dog.
This seems like a smart plan to handle right before Christmas. You know, only have 5 days. Here we go. Okay, we're not gonna do that transition. It's fine. We're doing with what we can over here, kids. I'm doing my best. Hanging out with the dress that I definitely thought I had already sold, and so she's on the dress form in hopes that maybe she'll get photographed one day.